Hey everyone, my name is Cindy Cummings. I am from Portland, Oregon, and my husband is Eric Cummings, and he is 58 years old, and he received a double lung transplant at Stanford Hospital here in Palo Alto on January 11th. We also have a 10-year-old daughter who is back home in Portland, staying with my parents, and also some good friends of ours. Currently still at my parents now that we are kind of quarantining. So I am here in my hotel room, just a couple miles down the road from Stanford, because visitors have not been able to go be with their loved ones at the hospital for about 2 weeks. So all San Francisco hospitals have been shut down for visitors for a couple weeks now, which is understandable, and I'm totally supportive of that. So Eric received his transplant due to having idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. He was diagnosed in February 2018. He had that cough, he had the fatigue, and he was diagnosed with an extreme case, which his O2 levels were kind of in the low 90 range, that he had been maintaining due to Esbriet for a couple years, but it was last August where we noticed that his lung capacity for O2 was declining, and we saw things progressing a little more quickly. We were here December 4th and 5th to finish up just the transplant approval process with Stanford on the 4th and 5th of December. Went back home, and it was 4 days later that Eric had his exacerbation at home, and on the early morning of December 11th, he was in the ER and then the ICU up in Portland. We were there for about a week, and then we were medically transported by airplane down here to Stanford on December 17th. Eric had been quickly then put on ECMO, and then eventually he was intubated with a ventilator as we were waiting for lungs. He was on the list for about 3 weeks, and it was really a day-to-day thing by the end, waiting for a suitable set of donor lungs that we are so appreciative of. So January 11th is when his transplant occurred, and he has been in the hospital ever since, trying to recover because he was pretty deconditioned, and it's been an up and down all around kind of recovery process, and he is currently in the ICU again to try to be on the BiPAP under sedation to reduce his CO2 levels because he was at 97% yesterday. But but he has had some good progress. It's just, as you know, it's a roller coaster. I am thankful that he received the transplant when he did, because with COVID-19, we were watching just the progression of it coming over here to the States at the hospital, watching the news in January and early February, checking in with the doctors about how they felt about it. But it was really about 3 or 4 weeks ago when we started to really see things kind of changing, even at the hospital level, about how they were monitoring people coming into the hospital and then really locking things down. So I am concerned about how it's impacting the transplant community and those that are dealing with these lung diseases that are progressive and there is no cure for, like idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. For us, I'm thankful that he received the transplant when he did, but I am curious to know how it's impacting just the whole process for transplant programs around the country. I'm thankful that he is in the hospital right now, where I think he's in the safest spot that he can. It's hard. Just got off the phone with him, FaceTimed him a little bit, and it's hard being separated from your loved ones. And I think about that for a lot of people that are in the hospital, in the ICUs right now. But again, I'm glad he's there. I'm here by myself in the hotel. I get daily updates from the transplant team. And at some point, hopefully soon, Eric will be moved over to St. Francis Hospital in San Francisco to start acute rehab. I am hopeful that he will be there soon, but that's kind of our story. My family is separated from each other right now, but we're thankful that that he is receiving the care that he is. I'm hopeful for you that you are staying safe and healthy and encouraged during this time, and that you are able to find positives and can be optimistic during this time period that we don't know how this virus is going to impact our community. So that's our story.